Let's solve number 2. Given the function f of x equals x squared plus 3x, solve f of x equals 0 for x. I think the biggest part here is interpreting the meaning of this problem. So we have a function which has the variable x, which equals x squared plus 3x plus 2. Saying f of x is equal to 0 is just saying that x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0, because this is the function f of x. So now basically we just have to figure out how to solve this quadratic. Now this really has to do with factoring, so this is another problem that is similar to the last one in that we have to factor. So let's do factoring again. We know it's going to look like two binomials multiplied together, and we have to think of a number that multiplies by itself to x, which will give us x. Now we have plus p and plus q. Okay, so we know p times q is equal to 2, and p times q is equal to, p plus q rather, is equal to 3. Okay, so we need to think of a number that multiplies to 2 and adds to 3. Well, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So these looks like good numbers. It was, since this was a prime, it was relatively simple, but there could be more complex cases. So this will give us x plus 2 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now remember, when we have an equation equaling 0, we have to find what x values will cause this to be 0. So there's something called the zero product property, which basically says that if you have a times b equals 0, a equals 0, or b equals 0. If you multiply two numbers together and they equal 0, at least one of them must be 0. So here we have two numbers being multiplied together. It's a little bit hard to see that, but since we have parentheses around them, we just have two things being multiplied to 0, which means x plus 2 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. So if this one equals 0, this would give us x equals negative 2, and if this one equals 0, we have x equals negative 1. So these are our two solutions. Quadratic equations can have 1, 2, or 0 solutions, so it won't ever just be, it might just be 1, but often it'll be 2, so make sure to include every single solution you can find.